Toxic, how the 2018 Oxford Word of the Year has and its cultural influence. The definition of toxic, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is an adjective and is defined by poisonous or imbued with poison. Today's use of toxic and why will be explained throughout this slide. Toxic nowadays has taken off more as a metaphor and used in everyday life, according to India Today 2018. There are many ways this word is being used in today's culture, as I will reveal in the following slides. The main one is toxic masculinity. It has gained popularity during the Me Too movement and the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, as stated by India Today 2018. It's a very controversial term, meaning that men have certain types of privileges that women don't, and that it basically comes down to that the world, quote unquote, is tired of hearing from men, and it's time things could change. And it also has a perceived use of being weaponized against men who have a different opinion on how things should operate on both sides of the political aisle. This term was actually used on me at work one day when we were going over ideas on how to improve the flow of the emergency room. It kind of took me by surprise because I never thought that it would ever that it would make it down to my level in the ER. But this person was quickly shut down by other women in the group. Anyway, while the term may be partially true in some situation, it does emasculate men and creates an environment where men should sit down, shut up, and be quiet. Seems hardly like equal rights, but a want of reversal of roles, or a perceived reversal of roles, which is not equal. The next term is toxic relationships. We have all been in one of these or know someone that it currently has been. According to Carricott and Silver from 2014, this can include emotional abuse and can easily lead to physical abuse. And it is a way a person imposes power over someone known more intimately or even in the workplace. It becomes so toxic that you just can't work there, you can't be in there, or it creates it brings out a certain side of the victim that just isn't very pleasant. They're always sad, they're always beat down, they're always scared that that if they say something, that the person that's imposing their will upon them in a relationship, whether it's at work or personal, is going to find out, and they're so scared to say anything because they're either going to lose that person or they're going to lose that job. And that's just one small caveat of the toxic relationship definition. And another thing is the political use of toxic. According to India Today 2018, the word toxic has been applied to rhetoric, policies, and agendas used by both of the major political parties. If you turn on any cable news network other than CNN or like MSNBC, including CNN, I should say, Fox News, any of the major news channels, I mean, it's absolutely toxic. They both just point fingers as to whose fault it is. They just kind of talk bad, for a juvenile term, talk bad about the other person, constantly. It's absolutely toxic, and it can really bring your day down, and it can really upset you or anger you if you continue to watch it and you allow it to. Toxic chemicals. India Today brings up a great point on how the literal word toxic has impacted the world by referencing something such as the Russian intelligence officer and his daughter who were poisoned by a nerve agent while in Britain. Toxic chemicals in our foods even. There has been a huge awakening of the negative side effects of pesticides and also herbicides in the world. Everybody's trying to go natural. Everybody's trying to go organic. Everybody's trying to go, farm to market. They want to buy all their stuff at the so at all the local farm markets and stuff, because it's viewed as being less toxic chemically. It's a huge movement, and so in this country today. Toxic environments. This is often used to describe harmful work environments, as you can see in the picture there. This woman is obviously in a toxic environment. This has been brought to the forefront of many HR departments around the U.S. due to the increase in workplace violence and how to prevent it. As I'm sure you've seen on the news, there have been people that have come back to work and have shot the place up. And that is usually due to a toxic relationship at work and a toxic environment of the person that just isn't feeling like they are appreciated or what have you. Air pollution in our culture today is a huge talking point. In this day and age of greater awareness of global warming, toxic fumes or toxic air have become a cultural term. You can hear it all over the news, all over everywhere. We have to go green, we have to go green, we have to go green, because we are breathing in all the toxic fumes and toxic air. In my own life, I often consider myself involved in politics and somewhat in the know or aware of what's going on in the political world. While not an expert, I do like to keep current. I have to turn off CNN, MSNBC, Fox, or put down similar internet publications such as the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, because it is really no longer about journalism. They are either more of opinion pieces, or they are articles that include half truths, or just include a partial truth, and then they come to a conclusion, or they've already come to a conclusion and they go out and they search for truths or half truths that can be twisted and turned to prove their point. It's extremely toxic, and it's just I'm tired of it. In my own life, again, as an ER nurse going on 18 years, I have experienced many toxic work environments. It's either situational or it's departmental. In the ER, it's usually a situational event with patient family, what have you. But there are managers out there who do not really care about patient or staff safety, or it's not one of their high priorities, and they only really care about the bottom line or the metrics their directors have imposed on them. So they're constantly pushing. We have to have this done within the first 5 minutes. We have to have door to needle for any of our stroke patients has to be done within the first hour. The stress of working in the ER is already toxic enough without the help of management and the lack of caring. I have known several nurses that have committed suicide who have worked in the ER. In fact, there was one that actually came into work, went to the bathroom, and shot himself. It was horrible. Toxic relationships can really have a negative impact on anyone's life. Sometimes there are even parental relationships, like in my personal life, that just have to be cut off because of the toxicity involved. This can actually be very liberating and a huge weight taken off your shoulders when you cut off a deadbeat dad. In my own life, once again, having kids has really awakened me to the impact some of my choices can have on the environment. I want my kids and kids' kids to breathe clean air, enjoy some of the outdoor things that I did as a child and an adult. I want them to be able to take their kids out to go camping or go fishing and all this stuff. But if we keep treating the environment the way we are, that most likely won't happen. Here's my references, 3 references. You are more than welcome to check those out. That's the end of my presentation. Hope you enjoyed.